Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Chris Shengwar here. Chris and Tammy here will be hosting this training, which is the very first segment of what we call the August Rush Recruit 10 in 30 days. But before we begin, we just love to welcome all the folks that are showing up here bright and early. I noticed that Coach Steve, I know you're doing very well. Congratulations and well done and welcome. And then we have Lou. Lou, you were second today. Great to have you here. Really appreciate you. And you have Fulera, welcome from Belgium. And let's see here. We have affiliate team builders. Welcome. We have Dr. Richard from Texas. This is awesome. We have Christy. Welcome. Urban from Thailand. This is so awesome. I love the representation from all over the world. We have Tia from Connecticut. Welcome. We have James from South Africa. This is cool. Let's see here. We have Sheila. I know, Sheila, you mentioned you are in the Pacific time zone and Arizona. I apologize. I know it's early for you. Really appreciate the commitment here. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have Kieran. Welcome from Ireland. This is so cool. Welcome. We have Donald from the UK. We have Renee from Canada. Folks, we're covering the entire world here. Isn't that awesome? We have Kelly from New York. We have Marianne and Leo. Great to have you here. We have Anne. Hey, Anne, how are you? Neighbor in Ontario. Let's see here. This is Canada here, folks, if you don't know. Okay, we have Francis. We have Veronique. We have Richard from BC. Welcome, BC, Canada. We have Gary. We have Isembia. Great to have you here from Ghana. We have Sherry from Toronto. Let's see. We have Esther. Oh, welcome, Esther from Ghana. Great to have you here. We have Yvonne. We have Raymond. We have Steph. Steph is the best. Okay, from Daytona Beach, Florida. Hey, that's where Tammy and I actually live 5 months out of the year.
We have to connect when we go to Daytona.
Yeah. We're in the corner of, we're on Riverside Drive, corner of Mason and Beach Street, right in that corner there. Okay, we have Ifo. Welcome. We have Salvador. Welcome from Italy. Great to have you here. We have Jufex from Saudi Arabia. Really cool. We have Desert from Ghana. We have Gary from Wikiwachi, Florida. Cool. Need to go visit that place. And okay, here, folks, we're going to get started now. Let me share my screen here. Let's change slides. 1 second. Here we are. Okay, so folks, listen, the training that Tammy and I are going to do, I want you guys to be mindful of something here. Tammy and I are very used to train folks that are earning 6-figure income in this business. And because of that, we might be a little bit more intense than you might be accustomed to. Just determine your compass. In other words, adjust the temperature, a matter of speaking, as a parallel here from what I'm sharing, on how far you want to take this. Because we train people that are earning 6-figure income and up. I'm not kidding. We've been doing this for a long time. And I just want to prepare you that sometimes we may share some things. Are you kidding me? For us, it's not a part-time little gig. This is a full-time career. We've made millions in this industry. And again, it's not to brag, but it's impressed upon you that you don't make this kind of money just by sitting around hoping for things to happen, right? You have to make things happen. So just keep that in mind as we're sharing. And it's not really intense, but there might be some point where, are they expecting me to put that many hours? No, not really. It's what we suggest for you to put in. You know, to make $1 million a year or to make $100,000 a year. Actually, folks, the difference is not that it's that significant. It's more on your level of leadership that will determine from 100,000 a year to $1 million a year. But my point in saying is, you don't make this kind of money by sitting back and just hoping for things to happen. You have to go chase the business, and this is what this call is all about. So, moving on to the topic we're going to be covering here, we call it August Rush. You know, the movie August Rush. Tammy came up with this name. I thought it was brilliant because we are in August. We're rushing to get our first 10. And again, the benchmark, and we'll cover that in a minute here, the benchmark is based on recruiting 10 people, starting with your first one on the left and the first one on your right, which is to become copper. Okay, so we're going to give you kind of the benchmarks and the basic element to qualify. But the goal is we want you to aim for 10 people in 30 days. And for that to happen, it's probably, you may have to recruit more. But at the end of the day, if you have 10 people in your business that are actually active, folks, you are going to have a heck of a wonderful time here. So we're going to talk about setting the right mindset. We're going to talk about maximizing your daily touch point. Okay. And we'll explain to you what that means as we come across that slide. Making friends with your phone, right? With your devices. Organize Blitz Days. We'll talk about that. Identifying target prospects. Utilizing social media for recruitment, right? Like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Live and so forth, right? And then of course we need to talk about a support system. You don't just recruit people and just let them hang for kind of fend for themselves. This is recipe for disaster, and you're not going to have the results. So we're giving you here all the tools to prepare for your first 10 days. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so the introduction and the overview of how it's going to work is the campaign objective is the primary goal 10, right? It's to get committed to recruit 10 new business partners, 10 new associates within this qualifying month, and duplicated obviously within your teams. The second one is critical, is what you do in the first 10 days. It matters a lot. And it's like recruitment. That's what it's about. It's laying out the groundwork and spending all your time talking to people. Some of you have already talked to lots of people, and there's a follow-up process, follow-through process that you want to connect with them, but also connect with new people. I've been doing this nonstop since August 1st, and I'm getting interest. People want to join the business. It's a lot of fun. It creates excitement, all of that, because you get fired up when people are interested, right? And your passion and excitement matters. So the message of urgency is success loves speed. Really, it does. Chris and I have been doing this industry for so long. It's just part of our DNA. Some of you have never done a campaign and don't know what to expect. Some of you have been part of campaigns and never really took it that serious. Now it's time to take it serious. We keep talking on these opportunity presentations. So many people will say to Chris and I, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're there at the beginning." Guess what? It's the beginning, right? This is the beginning. So every single one of you and all of your team members are at the beginning of something that's going massively into momentum right now. And August Rush is the first campaign. So you're part of the very first campaign that's launching with 2.0. How exciting is that? That's super exciting. So you want to get ready for working your targets and really run with this. Connect with as many people as you can in your first 10 days, which started August 1st, by the way. But if you haven't started August 1st today, step up your game. Absolutely.
Now, the right mindset is something that's very, very important here, folks. Is you want to retreat to achieving your recruitment goal, right? And the requirements, to get there. And the fact, folks, is you want to stay the course. What's really unfortunate, and Tammy, I've seen that in our journey in building our network marketing company. And what we find is people come in excited, and then they lose the excitement and they move on and they start doing other things. And they turn around, and there's some people that I know, they started exactly at the same time that Tammy and I did. And here they are, and they moved on. And I think they're on their 20th company deal, and they're still not making money driving Uber. And the fact, and here we are being full-time with incredible assets and incredible lifestyle because we stuck around and we made it happen. And a lot of time what happens is folks tend to shift the blame to the company, to my upline, to this, to that, and they never focus on themselves. And that's the thing that you need to understand is it starts with you. It begins with you. And it's all about the decision and the commitment you make in staying the course. So you have to shift your mindset, and you must kind of embrace the launch mentality.
Yeah.
And folks, one thing I want you to keep in mind is this is a recorded session. Last week we started with the campaign training, what you need, the tools you need, I really highly recommend you go back there. In fact, after this training, in the comment portion, I will put a link reference to that previous training. Why am I doing this, and why do I suggest that? Because what we're doing now doesn't have to end there. You can do another one in September with your own team, October, November, December, maybe in January, and you can use the same information that we are sharing with you in the next 3 weeks, or I should say the next 3 segments, which are blocks of 10 days. That's what we're focusing on. So what we need to do here is you want to maintain the enthusiasm. Sometime my French kicks in here, guys. Enthusiasm in focusing on the 4 benchmarks by duplicating copper. Let me change slide here a little bit just so we can here we go. Sorry about that. Now, this is the benchmark here, folks. This is what you want to do. When you start a new associate, don't give him, matter of speech, the God backup hat and say, farewell, I wish you all the best. No, make sure they understand the process. They don't need to understand the whole engine of the compensation plan. Most people, you will lose them. But if you explain to them that you need to have one person on your left, one person on your right, and from there, repeat the process again so you can have 4 people. And then from there, our goal is to build a team of 25 from these 4 people. It doesn't mean you stop at 4. You can go further. And then you want to go, which is the last point, number 4, is personally enroll 10. So what's the event that we're doing? 10 and 30 days. So we're trying to help you get started, get your business off the ground. And you want to duplicate that. And the third point on this slide is time management strategies. You need to implement structured time management for full-time. A full-time should be about 16 hours a day. You're not going to have to do this forever. Just use I like to use example of a plane. A plane to take off, it's going to use a significant amount of the portion of their fuel to take off. After that, once they're in the air, they are in a maintenance. And as they are maintaining, they're not using a fraction. I mean, they're using a fraction of the fuel they use to be on the air. And this is exactly what I'm saying. You're not going to be able to, you don't have to go 16 hours a day every day for the rest of your life. We're talking for 30 days. Now, some of you are working, some of you have found, I get all that. Remember what I said at the beginning. I'm giving you the numbers. You choose how much you want to invest into all of that. I assure you that 1 hour a day is much better than nothing, which is a lot of folks is exactly what they're doing, nothing, right? So 16 hours a day is so you can get the engine started and get the momentum started. If you're a part-timer, then it's 8, right? Now, maybe 8 is too much. Maybe you go down to half of that, maybe 2 hours a day, okay? And so that would be weekdays. And then during the weekend, you go back to 16 hours. And I'm telling you, folks, if you focus in building your business, it may seem like a lot of time, but once you start prospecting and then you start presenting and you start following up and you start getting people started, I'm telling you that these hours are going to go on very, very quickly. And once you are in momentum, then the engine has started. You are absolutely going to enjoy the ripple effect that this is going to create for you. So again, it says setting the right mindset is very important. And again, I don't want to overwhelm you here. I'm just telling you what the numbers are to be a 6-figure income earner a year and above. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah. So you want to go back to the slides, Chris?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right.
Okay, let me go back here and
yeah. So the next one.
Thank you.
All right. So the daily, maximizing your daily efforts. And the key is to maximize, for example, most people still have jobs. If you still have a job, a full-time job, part-time job, if you still have a job, just put in the chat 1 if you still have a job, because most people that come into our profession, when they first come in specifically, they work full-time. They have families, so it's not as easy. That's why you got to negotiate with your family members and delegate as much activities as you can to your family so they support you at putting as much effort as you can into this. And you want to maximize your commute productivity when you're on the road, out and about, traveling, the things that you're doing. You can connect with people still. Now, if you're personally driving, I would be very, very careful with that. You need to be focused on the road. But the key is to get up earlier. Start sending some messages early. That really, really works, you guys. Think about everybody who would be in your situation. They're up earlier in the morning. They're checking out their phone. I can guarantee you, when they're sitting on the toilet, they're checking out their phone. So if they get a message from you, guess what? You started a conversation, right? And every single break that you have, every opportunity you have, get rid of the TV for 30 days. I know you can do it. It won't be easy at the beginning, but once you start getting results and you have people to talk to, it gets really, really exciting. So sometimes you have to sacrifice some of your fun time to get some results. And that's what Chris and I have always done, because we've always had targets when we were building. Even at the very beginning, our targets weren't as high as, like, as soon as we got back up right away, we just looked at the top one, Black Diamond. Okay, so now it's whatever it takes. And we're that whatever it takes type of people. You may not be whatever it takes type of people, but pick a target of where you want to be at least gold, right? It's not hard to get to gold, especially when you get a couple people and they're going to do a little bit of work and other people are going to do a little bit of work, right? So utilize all your breaks, okay? Your short breaks, your lunch breaks, whatever it takes. If you work in an environment that there's a lot of people, don't sit in your office and eat your lunch, or sit in a quiet place and eat your lunch. Go into public places. Go into public places. It's a great way to strike up a conversation. So go out and connect with people. For those of you who are online, you guys know what you're doing. It's all about throwing out capture pages, throwing out whatever it is to get that attraction for people to provide their names and their emails and their information, right? So those who are out and about doing this while they're at work, these are some of the suggested things that we recommend, and to be consistent doing that, okay? And then evenings and weekends. I know it's summertime here, right? But imagine having one August sacrifice to go into momentum so that next summer you don't have to be running like this. That's what you want to do, right? Get totally serious, because they say plant to reap, correct? So we're planting with our August rush so that we can reap in September and help those new people plant. So spend as much time as you can. If you find that you don't want to be stuck inside, guess what? Go outside. Go make yourself a picnic in the first thing in the morning. Make yourself a nice lunch. Get on your bike. Go sit under a tree and just work. That way you got the nature, you've got everything. So we're just throwing out tons of ideas of stuff that Chris and I have done that have kept us so committed through campaigns that we went into serious momentum. And then, of course, people say, oh my gosh, look at all those people. You're so lucky. No, we made choices.
That is absolutely correct. And Tammy, do me a favor, just kind of step back a little bit and turn around so folks can see what's in your shirt behind you.
Oh yeah, never go out without a plain t-shirt.
Just step back a little bit further so we can see. You can probably, some of you can probably see that, right? 6 separate, with unlimited devices. I'm trying to read it from that tiny little. There we go. And for $9.97 a month. So you know what this does, folks, right? So tell me, feel free to turn around. So what this does, it strikes conversation. You know, one thing I noticed is Tammy and I were in the elevator. We're going for a trade show at one point, and it's really interesting. Whenever people are so, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say trained, but they're so used to whenever there's an advertising campaign of any kind. There's a little TV in our elevator with some promotion. People always look, and I saw that these girls were looking at Tammy's shirt, right? They were trying to read what was there. This is my point. People are so accustomed to pay attention to advertising of any kind, of any form. So this is a great way to strike conversation. Go ahead and print yourself some T-shirts like this, and you can probably, some of you probably have some old white shirts, and or maybe not necessarily old, but just a white shirt in your wardrobe, and you just go ahead and go print some writing like this behind it, and just kind of walk around with it. And I'm not kidding, that will strike conversation. I just started mentioning that. So anything that will actually get people to gravitate towards what you have to offer without you necessarily have to pitch it, right? They kind of ask you, what is this? What are you into? What are you up to? So now let's move on to the next point. And this is very important, is making friends with your technology, with your phone. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm talking from experience. Once you start doing this thing seriously, and some of you will, I hope all of you will, right? Ensure that your device remain charged to facilitate immediate communication and minimizing the delay. Oh, my phone is dead. My battery is dead. You don't know. It is so annoying when you know that your business is coming in, the timing is right, and boom, your phone is dead. You have to charge it. You have to wait this few minutes. It just make sure your devices are full. If you're not home, right, and then your battery dies, and you could have done so much work while you were wherever you're doing, maybe waiting on the car for maybe a significant other is doing some shopping. You said to sit back and do some follow-up. Again, this is for the month of August. I'm not saying you have to live that way, right? So we're intensing the amount of work here, but make sure your devices is fully charged and ready to be used. Another thing that's important is the phone anxiety. I remember decades ago, at the time we had a rotary phone. If you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about, or you put your finger on the hole and you rotate. That used to be the phone we had. And I remember when I was making these calls, the phone was like 1,000 pounds. It's like, what if I get rejected? Or what if they're not interested? Or I was so concerned about this. Today, it's not even a thought. It's not even an afterthought. It's just a no-brainer. But I do understand that some of you may have this anxiety of calling someone. My recommendation, the best thing, is practice conversation with your dog. I know that sounds silly, but your pets, they're the most amazing animal, the most amazing being, right? They're going to stare at you. They're going to look at you. They don't understand what you're talking about. They're just excited that you're focusing on them. But you know what? It gives you that practice. It could be your cat. It could be yourself in front of a mirror. And another thing that's really good is if you pay attention to presentations, right? There's presentations that are hosted all week. Right. In our case, Joel does one on Wednesday at 8:00 Eastern. Tammy and I just did one yesterday at 11:00 Eastern time. And the fact is, you can, if you pay attention to these presenters, you're going to find that the verbiage being used on the slide will become part of yours. And then you will start adding your own vocabulary, right? Your own style of communicating. If you watch a presentation often enough, you will become part of the presentation. The presentation becomes part of you. And then when you speak to someone, it all comes back. It all comes out in a format, in a way that people can actually understand, with a structure that makes sense and not being all over the map. And this is why, I highly recommend that you practice conversation. Listen to presenters, right? And set some very clear goals. My goal right now today is to call 5 people or 10 people, whatever it is, right? If you're a full-timer, it might be, I want to reach 30 people today. I don't know what your list looks like. Some of you, that might be, oh my God, 30 people, I never spoke to one. So again, you choose the amount of intensity you want to put yourself through based on the result you're looking for. The point is, set some goals and utilize communication tools, folks. Leverage one-on-one meetings. This is what a lot of our team leaders do. They invite Tammy or I or both of us to be part of a conversation. It's not necessarily a presentation. It's a conversation that we're having from our point of view and our experience, because of the level we've reached, so we can impress upon them the possibility. So take advantage of that, right?
And that's after they're qualified. Yeah.
Yes,
So what
of
we
course, of
do, yeah,
course.
for people to schedule times with us, they need to make sure that somebody has looked at the information, and basically we're doing that follow up, follow through, and finding out, you know, where they are on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, and find out what's missing for them to make a decision to be part of the team, and then we answer questions
Yes.
and we get them
I
started.
totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. The point here is, even sometimes, depending on the relationship what you have with your upline, you may use your upline to help you initiate a conversation. Again, this is something you need to do. What Tammy talks about is, Tammy and I, obviously, when we do calls, we want people to have at least an understanding of what's going on, because of the amount of time we have in the day and the amount of people we help. But webinars, WhatsApp calls, Facebook Messenger calls, right? All of these are all the different networking opportunities for you to share the information. Remember, there's a lot of presentation right now that are sitting on the God Backup YouTube channel. You pick one, listen to some of them, and maybe a clue. Look at the ones that have the most amount of views or even likes. That means that that presentation kind of hit home. You know, sometimes some of us might be better than other times, and you may pick that one, and you can use that. These links are not going to disappear. They're there permanently forever. So you just take this link and you can add this into your marketing material or as a follow-up, right? And again, if you talk to someone the very first time and you send them a 40-minute presentation, might be a little overwhelming. So I would recommend, maybe, some of you have some wonderful videos that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I know Joel added some new videos on the extra marketing tools. If you notice that, you click on English. This is in your God Backup back office, right underneath the email marketing link. Right underneath that, you have extra tools, extra promotional tools. Click on that, select English if you want the English, for example, and you'll notice there's extra videos. And these videos are really cool. They're like 30 seconds, 1 minute. These are perfect. We'll come back to Instagram and TikTok a little bit later, but these are perfect little videos to trigger attention for people to kind of post a question. What is this? What are you into? What is this all about? And that's what you're looking for. So you want to streamline constantly prospects in front of information that will provide them. You don't have to wait for an actual presentation occurring once a week, but they're all recorded. So again, I just wanted you to be aware of that, to maximize your time so we can have an amazing August month. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, so organizing Blitz Days, that's something that we love to do. And it's a set, intense days of constant connecting with people, even 1 hour, do an hour power where, and I recommend not always doing this alone. For example, we've done some campaigns where we would do a 7 a.m. and we do a 7 a.m. for 30 days. And who's committed to doing a 7 a.m.? And then you would hop on a Zoom, everybody's silent. It's not a chat conversation Zoom session. It's a get to work, be accountable, show up on time, and you'll show up more for other people than you will do for yourself. Trust me. When the alarm goes off, it's so much easier just to hit the snooze button. But if you know that people are waiting for you on a Zoom session for a 7 a.m., then people will show up. And what you do is you put it on mute, and you turn the audio off, and you get to work. You start texting people on your phone. You start connecting with people on social media, whatever it takes. And what I found by doing 7 a.m., for us, for our basic local market, Eastern time, I found that by the time I would go to the gym and come back right after I do my 1 hour power hour, I had lots of conversations that I could strike up because people are returning the messages. Why? Because they're not at work yet, right? Or they haven't started their day yet. They're on their phone. They're checking their emails. They're checking their messages. And that's a perfect time to say, hey, John, how's your summer going? And then, something simple just to create that connection with people. and then go from there. And if you do that for 30 days, watch your business grow exponentially. I know because we do it. All right. So talk to people within your environment, your local market, and just say, hey, who's up for the 7 a.m. or who's up for a 7 p.m. That's another one. You know, people are back home. They're well, some people are finished dinner time. You might do it a little bit later. But these are things that we do to help accelerate the actions and not being alone trying to do that, because we all know it's easier to turn on the TV or easier to do something else, right? So encouraging competition within your organization, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, just have some friendly competition. It doesn't even have to be about gifts or prizes or anything like that. People just like to be recognized, right? So, so do some encouraging steps. Like for those who have signed up, 5 people within the first 10 days, that's powerful. Like people will run faster in those first 10 days because they want to be recognized for bringing in 5 people. So do things like this within your organization. Don't wait for leaders to do things for you. Please don't do that. You will be disappointed if you wait for other people to grow your business, because we're all independent entrepreneurs. Okay, we're all independent entrepreneurs, but we work together as a team. Some people are not team players, by the way, and don't ever lose energy on the people that are not team players. Never lose energy on that. You just work within the environment of people who want to do the same thing and excel from there. Okay, and then role of live events. So you want to encourage people to get as many people on Wednesday night. This is what I do. I want everybody on Wednesday night's presentation. Joel, he's the guy, right? He's the guy that's got the huge vision of what this company is about. I mean, he's the one that started it, right? With Mike and Eve and the support that's behind all of that. So do team also presentations. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. If you are presenting right now, pick a couple days where you could be presenting with the team. It could be a small group. You could, just put 5 people together and say, hey, those 5 people, I mean, everybody's at a different level right now, right? So I'm kind of throwing it out there for everybody, giving you guys ideas. So if you have 5 people in your team, just say, if you each put 2 people on a session, I'll present. And then you can answer questions after. It's more personal, right? And then you plug them all into the big one. So these are all the things that you can do to create some real-time interaction with people. Those of you who are online, that you're spending all of your time online, you want to create posts and reels and all kinds of stuff to create excitement for people to go see a presentation if you're not presenting. For those of you who are very comfortable in that presentation mode, you should be doing YouTube presentations. You should be doing all kinds of lives where you're 30 days, just make it happen. And whoever shows up, you want to make sure that you're plugging them into wanting to be partners with you. So we're just throwing a lot of ideas out here for you to engage.
At the end of the day, folks, what happens here is this is in your hand. We're giving you a map. We're giving you instructions. But if you don't act on those, it won't do anything for you. But I'm telling you that what we're sharing with you is extremely valid and has created millionaires in this business. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a lot of pin ranks that are going to come up in August. I guarantee you. The question is, will you be part of those people that are going to rank up? This will be based on your decision to be part of those activities. So we're giving you some clues. Now, here's the thing. Identify target prospects. Well, utilize social media for this. To give you an example, I created a TikTok account, an Instagram account that are completely separate from my own Instagram account, right? I have an Instagram account. That's my name. I have an Instagram account. It's Chris and Tammy, right? That's what we've been working on for a while. Now I have an Instagram account, right? And I call it, I think I call it GBU Global Space,
Cloud
right?
storage.
And I did the same thing for TikTok, exactly the same thing. Zero follow up, nobody there. And what I'm doing is I'm adding little segments of 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Now Joel added all these wonderful videos that I'm going to be adding into this, and there's other stuff. And feel free to copy, just check what I do and duplicate, because it's starting to create traction. And then you can turn around and you can convert your account into a business account, right? And then they need to know that you have a legitimate business. It's going to ask you to fill in some stuff and prove that you are legit and everything else. And then you can add a link. And you will find that on TikTok, I'm still waiting for the approval, but Instagram is fairly new. On Instagram, you can see the link is there. So as my audience is starting to grow, what's going to happen is you're going to see people are going to click on that link. And the moment they click on that link, it prompts them for an email, their name and their email, which they'll end up into my prospecting pre-enrollee. Do you understand what's going on here? And now from that point on, they receive emails from me. So this is my strategy. And from there, what's going on is you want to leverage, right, the platforms and identify the areas that the right platforms. I highly recommend TikTok and Instagram. Of course, also, you may want to create a separate, maybe Facebook page. And from there, you can do some lives. But keep in mind, it'll be empty at the beginning. But as you start sharing, and the reason why I'm talking about creating a new one is because I have existing teams. I don't want recruit within my own organization. I'm trying to get some fresh, new perspective with new people coming on board. That's what I'm doing. So I highly recommend to investigate. If you don't know how this works, here's my go-to place. It's called YouTube. And under YouTube, how do I set a TikTok account? How do I set an Instagram account? And let this 12-year-old explain to you exactly how this is done. Of course, someone will be older, but you know what I mean. Let them, there's no ego here. Let them do the stuff to teach you, and you start applying step by step. Pause the video if you need a bit more time to process. And once it's done. And start following now. How do I post a video on Instagram? How do I post a video on TikTok? And let this 15-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever, show you how it's done. And then just do it. Folks, it is not hard. Don't let not knowing how to be an obstacle for you to move forward in life. Because these are very simple things. And once you know how to do that, it's, oh my God, it's so simple. I can't believe I waited so long to do this. So what you want to do is you kind of want to get your name out there through these social media platforms. The other point is networking through your referrals. There are some people that maybe they just want to be a customer. Maybe they're not interested in what you're saying, but they realize that, you know what? Data service, 6 terabytes for the price of 2. That makes sense. Okay, sure. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I have a friend, or, they ran out of space on there. So in other words, encourage existing contacts, right, to kind of share with you some candidates that might be actually good prospects. And if they're interested themselves to build a business, well, great. Then you help them becoming copper, because if these people are interested, one on the left, one on the right, boom. Now you just helped someone become copper. This will count for you, which is what will move you up in ranks, is by helping your team becoming copper. And before I shift over and pass over to Tammy, something that's important to keep in mind here, folks, there are people that are not team players. They're going to want to do their own thing. That's fine. Let them be. Don't try to force them to be part of your group, let them be. Maybe they'll be successful. Maybe they won't be. And that's totally fine. Focus on the willing. Don't fight for the ones that are not willing. Don't waste your time. Not 1 second with that. You do not have time for this. There are too many people out there looking for an opportunity like this. $10 a month. $10 a month. And if you've been seeing any of the presentation and you look at the matching check income, the matching cycle starts from $1,000 up to $20,000 per person you've enrolled. That's just the matching check out of the 7 ways. Folks, listen, I'm not saying you're going to make this. What I'm saying is the limit is limitless. And people, you're saying, well, how can you make so much money with $10 a month? Volume. Why is Netflix and Amazon Prime so massive, so big? Why is Disney converting into movies right now? Everybody's charging their little $10, $13, $11, $9, whatever that is. It's within the $10 margin. Everybody's doing this. Dropbox started that way. 800 million users. Folks, do you see the potential here? So when folks are having a hard time seeing the potential, just the evidence is there. The obvious is here. They're $billion corporation, hundreds of billions. So this is what God Backup is. This is the future. None of them will pay you like God Backup is paying you. Folks, this is unbelievable. So if you catch a glimpse of that potential, that future, that vision, the path becomes easy when the vision is clear. That's what we're talking about here. So don't be afraid to ask for referral. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to experiment and kind of venture into social media, even though you never touched those before. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, I've had big leaders from referrals from friends of mine that didn't want to do anything, but they referred people to me and ended up being big leaders. So very important to ask, and it is given, right? So utilizing social media for recruitment. For those of you who are on social media, you know what it's about, right? It's like turning a stranger into a connection. You can do this online, you can do this offline, right? So it's just a matter of asking the right questions, finding out where people are at, and seeing if Got Backup could be a solution for them, right? So, and that's it. And if it's not, move on. Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up on anybody. I talk to people all the time. Not everybody's open, and I'm okay. Next, right? And lots of people, they want to be your friends. I get this one contact that keeps calling me. It's like, oh my gosh, please. We got to stay focused, you guys. Got to stay focused on the people who are serious about becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a Got Backup member, right? Is to help them earn income. And so optimize all the platforms out there that you could build those relationships to share the opportunity with them. And this is something we've been doing for a long time now. We're more and more online than we ever were before. I think the pandemic really changed everything for everybody. People prefer to be online. And also, on Zoom, looking good from the waist up, and then who cares what you're wearing from the bottom down, right? Nobody sees it. But everybody's moved that way, and they're used to it. So socializing on social media. I've been doing a lot of that lately. Engaging messages techniques. Like, instead of constantly, I don't know about you, but it bothers you at the end of the day. Instead of constantly texting messages, create some short form, impactful messages. Short form. Remember, people are busy. If you want to give them all the goods in one shot, you're going to lose them. I can promise you'll lose them. Especially busy people. And remember, busy people, they get things done. Okay, so keep it short, brief, and just let them ask questions and answer their questions after. So do something that you could just copy, paste, send to everybody. Copy, paste, send, right? And that's going to minimize your time trying to think of what you're going to say, and just repetitively do this on your WhatsApp connections, on your Messenger connections, on every single connection. Do this over and over and over. That's why I said that 1 hour power. You should be able to get 100 hellos in all of your platforms. You can do that easily in 1 hour if you're focused. Okay. So visual content utilization, incorporate eye-catching visuals. The new videos that they just put up, I don't know if you guys saw them. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. There's, I think, 4 really good ones at the beginning. It creates an emotional connection for people to want to click on your link to find out what Got Backup's about. If you're not utilizing them, you're missing the boat. Soon as I saw those up, I immediately downloaded them for sure. And I went to Chat GPT. We happen to have the 4.0, but you can get the free version. And then ask them to create a short, impactful, friendly message for them to watch that video. And on Facebook, put something out for Instagram, whatever platforms you're on, you want to be posting these and get them out there as often as you can. Just alternate one day, one another day, one the next day, and then just keep alternating this stuff. People love visuals, you guys. They really do. People love visuals. They love funny. They like things that'll create some emotional connection. And you can create your own, by the way. You know, if you're a person that likes to do this stuff, create your own. And people get to know you. They buy you first, right? So you want to make sure that you're sending content out constantly and use these videos for all your personal connections on your phone. When I saw those, I said, oh my God, everybody on my phone is going to need to hear this message because they're all going through the same stuff, right? So leverage, and watch your business grow.
Absolutely dead on. So the next step here, folks, that now we've given you some clues, some ideas on how to kind of get people to come to you and how to get to people, the mindset and so forth. Now we need to talk about building a support system. When I say building, understand that you don't need to build anything. You can actually participate. What's going on here on Saturday, this training, this is a support system, right? And I'll share with you our board, and understand that what we're sharing with you, it's not a do-all be-all. It's an approach on how we're going about doing this to make sure that people have the right tools to get started. But some of you leaders have their own boards. And I'm not saying not to, to disrespect the fact that other leaders have their own board. Again, follow the guidelines within your community, your ecosystem. We're here to reach out to the mass amount of people in Got Backup. And if you don't have a team that's active or doing anything, instead of saying, well, my upline is not supportive, don't waste your time with that. That's not going to change your life. It's not going to do anything for you. Take advantage of what we provide until maybe you feel that you could do something better. But until you start reaching a level of diamond and above, I recommend that you follow what diamonds put together for you. That's the reason why they're diamond, double diamond, or triple diamond, because they're repeating things that are working. And if you don't have the experience of getting to these levels yet, you may start venturing into some direction that will be absolutely, duds, like lemons. It's not going to do anything because what we're teaching you has been proven to the test of time. That's why we keep teaching it. So in building a system, is you need to establish a support network. For example, what's a support network? Well, some of you are using WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, and I know there's others, platforms out there. But my point here is, Got Backup has a Telegram group, and this is designed for the entire company. So Tammy and I, and many leaders put our time into this, knowing that in many cases we're not necessarily supporting someone that's in our specific team. We're looking at the community of Got Backup as a whole. So that is an area that you can certainly take advantage of on finding out the presentations that are taking place. I noticed that we have the Spanish community, right? I believe Sylvia as a Spanish community. There's also another Sylvia who's the Italian community. Sometimes they will post their meetings in there, okay? And then again, it gives you an opportunity to tap into these meetings. I know that I post, me personally, the meeting of Joel on Wednesdays and the meeting that we do on Fridays. And of course, this meeting on Saturday. If you have meetings that you want people to go to, and of course, folks, always be respectful. Be careful about my team, my this, my that, my, me. Be careful when you share to a general public. If you open it to general public, be mindful and respectful of people that may not be part of your team that would love to learn from you. This
Yeah,
is what
want to
we
be generic.
Yes.
Absolutely
You
generic.
want to stay generic and be generic, because the
Mhm.
moment you start doing things that are luring them to try to come towards you, it creates bad blood, and people are not going to be attracted, and it's not going to give you good karma. In this business, I'm telling you, it's like the Inquirer. Everybody knows about everybody. So you want to always be neutral and respectful. If you're doing something for your own private teams, I don't recommend that you promote it into the general Telegram group. Just keep that within your own organization. And I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is just use your common sense as you're building this and supporting your team. Okay. And engage also into mentorship. Mentoring is very, very important, right? People need guidance, they need knowledge, sometimes they need accountability, right? And you want to enhance their participation. You know what's going on, and it's really interesting. But we live in a society; it's almost like people are falling asleep because they're tired, they're discouraged by what's happening in the world, by the inflation, the economy, the manipulation that we hear all the time. The people that are ruling our world today. I can appreciate it can get to you, but don't focus on that. Create your own ecosystem, and this is exactly what God Backup is giving you as an opportunity. Because if you have a healthy ecosystem of mentoring and inspiring, then you will find that your team will start growing. Just look at all the people that are moving up in rank. They have a great community. That's what I'm talking about. So you want to mentor, and you want to engage and not try to weasel your way into other people's teams and try to brew them into your team and into your deal. This is not healthy. This is not how you build a sustainable, trustworthy organization. Very important. We're telling you how to make millions. We're telling you. That's how Tammy and I have worked. Anybody who knows Tammy and I very well, you know that we are extremely diligent and respectful to every organization, and we do not poach into other people's team that have worked so hard to build their livelihood. But some folks don't have that sense of understanding, and you have to understand it's part of the environment that we're into. But a support system is absolutely critical, right? You want to facilitate some experience sharing, right? So you may have a session, like sometimes we did some trainings on Saturday where we've been interviewing some folks. Why did we interview some folks? Because we want you to hear from their words, their experiences, what they went through, and what's happening. And this, what it does is it engages others, inspires others to want to take part of this that maybe didn't think they could do it. So again, facilitating, sharing environment, it's absolutely critical. And right below that, it says refer to the board access to access all the tools. Let me just kind of shift my screen here, and tell me if I'm not shifting this. Remind me to shift back. This here is what we call the God Backup onboarding board. Okay, so from there, when you go here, you click on getting started. We have all the steps here, onboarding and all the details here. The training is not about this here today, but this is a system that we have in place. We have here step 5 is the 5 benchmarks, right? So understanding what they need to do. This is another version of it, which you can
Four
find in
benchmarks.
the PDF. And you'll find that Tammy and I tend to take things from existing tools. So there's familiarity on whatever we promote, right? Here is installing God Backup, the PC and the Android or iPhone, okay? Or Mac. It's pretty much the same process here, right? Reaching your core rank, right? See, there's some details that Randy created, which again is just to give you an illustration of how do I go to reach goal. But here's another thing. Some of you say, well, I don't know how to make your list, or I never made a list before. I don't know how to prospect. I don't know what to tell people. When I'm trying to invite people, I'm not sure what to say. So we have these trainings here that we've done before, which are sitting into the God Backup, channel. We do that purposely to be generic all the time, because we know that Tammy and I are working with a lot of members that are not necessarily part of our business. We want God Backup as a whole to do well. So another thing here is, and we'll get into that on later slides, but you'll notice here that when you click on this, it's a spreadsheet, an action report for the week, right? So you can keep track of all the things that you've done, what you need to work on, how many presentation, all of this, it's all there. You can create your own, but why waste your time? We have it done for you here. Okay. So all of that is part of the first 7 days. Okay. It's all here. So this is what I mean. Support team system, these weekly events, duplication process, and all of these, which are so important on, prospecting, inviting, following up, third-party credibility. These are all the important aspect to, again, you want to direct your people towards as a system, right? So this is what I mean is, once people are in the business, now you need to give them a place for them to park their car, matter speaking, and to be able to show up for class. And that's what it's all about. So Tammy, I'm going to pass this over to you, which is kind of interesting, tracking the progress, which I kind of...
So basically, Chris just showed you where you can access some stuff that you can track your progress. It is absolutely critical to track your progress. And the first 10 days, remember, the first 10 days is new people. You should be driving a list of new connections and building relationships. Find out what they're looking for. Those of you who are just, online marketing, just put the stuff out there. Make sure you're responding to the comments. Ask people what their interest level is. Engage people in wanting to make a comment so that they could get more information. Whatever it takes for engagement, you want to be doing on the platforms. Okay. So always track all of this, so you know where you're going and what is working for you. Even with the email marketing, I'm finding when I do the invitations with the email marketing, sometimes I get more clicks than others. What am I doing to get more clicks? Well, often I'm looking at the caption of what is being sent out, and wow, that one's really working. So you know that it's working. Well, guess what? You want to send it out again, or be more creative and create something even more engaging, right? So it's always tracking. That's what Chris and I do. We're always tracking our progress. Every Sunday we sit down together. Anybody who knows us know that we sit down for breakfast on Sunday and we go over our week and what we're going to do the following week, and just, nail down something that's going to help us evolve in a better way. Setting goals. If you don't set a goal, I like what Randy does. He talks about the 5 pennies. Anybody who's listened to Randy at all, he has 5 pennies on one side of his desk. And at the end of the day, those 5 pennies have to be on the other side. That means 5 connections, 5 people that you've engaged to have a look at, got back up. You move the penny over. Well, we're in a campaign, so you might want to put 10 pennies out there, or 10 little whatever, just make things happen. That's what it's about. And adjusting the strategy. If you feel like something's working better than others to get attention, spend your time doing that on the campaign, because you want the numbers, you want the growth, you want the signups. Okay. And then Chris refers to the boards, which you already saw. There's the couple of ones that Chris showed on the tracking for the gold, Chris. Yeah, on the coppers qualified that Randy did, not that one, the other one.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about
the pictures for there, that one. Yeah, exactly. There's an example of that one, and that's building your coppers. Oh my God, that guy is calling again. He doesn't give up. So funny. Anyway,
Tammy has a stalker.
I do. I wish he was. The guy's so persistent. I wish he was in my business. So yeah, but not interested in business.
Yeah. So in other words here, folks, again, you have a lot here to track. And of course, we have the one that you can actually access, which has every single possible options that are available. If you happen to be in the Nigerian market and you're looking to do credit card payment, and there's all sort of different things that you may want to use, and so forth. So, Tammy, was there anything else that you wanted to?
No, no, that's fine. Yeah. So you guys got a lot of stuff. It's 11 o'clock. I mean, we shared a lot. You might be overwhelmed right now. For those of you who are used to doing campaigns, you know what to do, right? You know what you need to do. You know where you need to focus, and just start working. Start making it happen. So you know what you need to do in the next 10 days. You should all have big lists in the next 10 days. So let's run with it.
Now, I noticed Abdul Hakim, Abdul Hakim. I'm sorry. You have a really good question here, and I know many of you do that. What it is social media platform. That's their way of boosting their income, but it's not a bad thing, because if, let's say, you have a post, maybe often I find that this comes in when you have a post that people tend to click on. It looks like people seems to like what you posted, and it's encouraging you to pay, I don't know, small amounts to promote to a bigger audience, right? And then from there, all it's going to do is you have more people that are going to be seeing your posts, which could attract more business towards you. So should you do this or not? I can't answer that for you. You have to decide, because it is your money, it is your pocket. I want you to be mindful of your expenses, but that's what it is, right? It's encouraging you to get your post to reach out to more people. So, folks, here, as we finish this thought here, what's important here, and Tammy and I will go back and forth here. I know it's 11 o'clock, so we're pretty much done here. Is you need to commit to succeed, right? So the fact is, if you don't commit to this, a year from now, nothing will change for you. And like I said at the beginning of this session, I see so many powerful people in our business that are incapable of focusing at all, like zero. And that is the reason why they struggle. They're always in that pressure, and they're always chasing that pile of goal, short-term goal. Oh, I'm going to make $30,000 this month. Okay, that sounds wonderful. What about the rest of the year? What about 5 years from now? What about a decade from now? How do you want your life to look like? This is what Tammy and I train people to do. So those of you that know us, we are not flakes. We don't jump from deal to deal to deal to deal to deal because we get a phone call. We understand what we have in our hands. Look at the facts. Look at what's going on out there. Look at the companies that are successful today despite this economy. Why are they successful? God backup is the new oil, right? Data is the new oil. So God backup is tapping into a growing industry that is going to explode, and they pay you for it. Remember that when you get distracted by a phone call from someone that's all excited about a patch or all excited about something else. And again, no disrespect meant here. Maybe I shouldn't have said the patch, but you know what I mean, right? Don't get distracted by the small little distraction, nickel and dimes. And unfortunately, these nickel and dimes deals, and I'm not saying that that's a nickel and dime deal. What I'm saying is to get involved outside of what you're focusing your time in is distracting. And this is what is going to get you out of the game.
And I think, Chris, a lot of time people are testing you to see if you can be easily moved. And when you have a really strong posture, here's what happens, because it just, it happened to me with a couple of gentlemen wanting, of course, everybody's trying to sell something, right? Everybody's selling online. Just so you know, if you're online, everybody's selling. So when you're passionate about what you do and your commitment to what you're doing, people tend to start to get curious about what you do. And this is exactly what happened. And they have the links and they're saying this looks like a great opportunity. And they have, some of them have other questions. And I invited one particular person onto the session today. I don't know if he would be available, if he was able to make it on, but I will make sure that he gets the recording because he sees the opportunity. He wants the strategy. So and of course we want them to see how we are working our business, right? If they want to be sponsored by us, we want them to see us in action. So you want to do the same thing with your prospects. You want to make sure that they see you in action, or they see your leader in action, because they'll know that by working with you, that they're going to have an attachment to your leader. So leverage as much as you can. Do not weaken your posture for any other things, because once you do that, you're now a target. You're a target for everything.
Absolutely. So the thing here that's also very important, right beside that, we have positive affirmation. Folks, you have no idea how important that is. It could be in a form of a prayer, it could be in a form of energy, whatever works for you. But my point is, think positive. Every morning I wake up, I'm not kidding, and every night I go to bed, and there's three things that I keep telling myself. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am grateful. This is a fourth one. And I am happy. Keep repeating those four things. Just that. Train your mind to focus on what makes you feel good, not what makes you what makes you feel not good. It's not syntax correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, the movies we watch, the series we watch, it's all full of drama. And listen, guys, I'm guilty of it. I love being entertaining with series and stuff like that. I get it. But you need to cleanse your mind. You need to start focusing on a positive. Right. I don't know about you, but when I saw the opening of the Olympics, and again, I was a little devastated inside. I said, what's going on in my world? What's happening in our world? What's going on? Right. And at the end of the day, folks, everything. And then the day after, I saw the entire, a significant amount of tens of thousands of people in Paris came together to say, no, this is not who we are. Now, again, this is my personal opinion, and you may have a different opinion, folks. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a lot of things in our world that are shaking the way our belief, they're shaking the way we are, what we want. And the thing is, you have to work. This is my message here, not what I was talking about. My message is what goes on in your head for you to stay the course and for you to feel good about yourself. That's very important, because as you build this business, all of these things are going to impact you. And when you start doing prospecting calls and you start going through all these leads, folks, be prepared. They will sell you in whatever it is that they're doing. Go along with their objection without falling into the trap of trying to get involved in everything, because you're not going to do well. And Tammy said it earlier. The moment you accept something, now you become a target, and it will never stop. And every time there's a new deal, you will be a target. Oh yeah, that person seems to be open to pretty much everything.
Yeah, don't entertain it, you guys. Stay focused and grow your business. We got 30 days to get everybody to another level. And copper, drive the coppers within your organization, and everybody's going to go up the ranks. That's your focus. 4 benchmarks, that's it. And it is 11:09, Chris. And
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll finish exactly that. So I just felt it was important that we finish this so you guys get the right mindset and prepare for what's coming. Because once you open the gateway and start reaching out to the world, it is not what it was before. People are hungry. Everybody's involved into a lot of different deals. The question is which deal they're involved in. And the people that will succeed are the people that are focused. They have an ecosystem. They have a support system that others says, oh, I like that. And that is very attractive. So folks, I hope that you got some good intel on that. Next Saturday, we'll have another segment. We'll be talking about the next 10 days. So we'll be basically 7 days on next Saturday from the 10-day process, which will be ending in, after the weekend, but we'll prepare for the next 10 days. So we are now we're giving you the benchmark, the base foundation, the things you need to be aware of to grow your business. Folks, I'm not kidding. This is going to be big. Don't get stuck on the little problems and little things that sometimes we come across dealing with technology. I assure you that all of that is getting ironed out, and we're going far and we're going high. Remember the words, data is the new oil. And that's where you want to be. So have yourself a wonderful weekend. Remember, Wednesday, Joel doing a presentation. Friday, Tammy do our presentation. And keep open the opportunity to other presentation, and make sure that you're aware of what your team is involved in the presentation that they do to grow their businesses. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend, folks. And we really appreciate you.
Bye, guys.